is going to be joining us tomorrow. John Solomon with Circa right now. I knew him when he was the editor from the Washington Times. He's going to be joining The Hill tomorrow as executive editor, and we're fired up about it. He's a good guy, and he'll be on our show. Republican gubernatorial candidate Ed Gillespie has been going around saying that he wants everybody to know that Democratic candidate Ralph Northam voted for what he calls the largest tax increase in history. Wow. But Mr. Gillespie is leaving out one detail. The $6 billion 2013 funding package he's talking about was the signature policy accomplishment of Republican Bob McDonnell and Speaker of the House Bill Howell, and I, for one, supported it vigorously in the press. So where's he going with this? I have no idea. This is going to be another head-scratcher campaign. Gillespie, who was the chairman of McDonnell's 2009 campaign, is attacking what his own party once described as a historically important piece of legislation. I don't get it. Bill Howell, back in February 2013, he is still Speaker, Bill Howell said, "This moment shows why Virginia is so fundamentally different from the rest of the country. In a time of crisis and need, we came together and worked in a bipartisan fashion to find a solution." Now, Ed Gillespie spins it a different way. He says, "The kind of Virginia we're going to have could not be more clear because my opponent, Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, was a state senator at the time, voted for the largest tax increase in Virginia history, but this was a tax increase backed by Speaker Bill Howell, Tommy Norment, all leadership of the Republicans, and clear-thinking media people like myself. Because you need roads, and you're not going to get them by finding change under the seat cushions. Virginia needs roads. We're going to get the money." So now Gillespie blasting Northam for voting for that. He'd have to blast a majority of Republicans in the House and the Senate who also backed it. Look, I thought, I don't know where this campaign's going. They win the nomination June 13th. What have they done? They've hired no new people that I can see. Okay, that's fine. That's their business. They do what they want. I'm not sure how they're reaching out to Trump voters. And they do a press conference on bottle rockets. And now they're attacking the transportation compromise of 2013 that I was in favor of. And if you live in Hampton Roads or Richmond and you're driving up or down 64 and you see it being widened all over the place, well, that's because of this bill. If you're coming from D.C., going to Fredericksburg and you're bottlenecked where the Easy Pass bottles up 20 miles south of north of Fredericksburg, and then you get off it and you see they're trying to widen and add that for another 10, 15 miles to get rid of the bottleneck. That's where your 2013 tax increase went. If you're on I-95 and see that being extended all over, that's where the money's going. Where do you think this money came from? Where do you think it came from? The general fund? They don't have any money. I mean, look, I know nobody wants tax increases, but you got to pay for roads. They don't just come from pennies from heaven. You have to pay for it. Tax, tolls, or something. Gas tax, some tax. So now the Gillespie campaign blasting what I thought was one of the best things that Bob McDonnell did. And this is the centerpiece of his campaign. I don't get it. I don't get where they're going with this. Maybe somebody can help me. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Who knows? I really don't know. I want roads. To blast that 2013 compromise is the best thing we ever did. You're getting roads. Just open your eyes. Barrels and shovels and cranes on interstates. The state is in a road crisis. You can't get anywhere. You have to widen these arteries. And you can't do it without generating the money to pay for it. Otherwise, they're going to toll the bejesus out of you. Let's go to Mike, the Republican in Portsmouth. Mike, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning. I just like to chime in, and it goes right back to the tunnels. When they took the tolls off the tunnels, me and another person that you know, that's on the radio, we argued back and forth about leaving the tolls on the ramps, but and I also argued about leaving the tolls on the way they were, because I knew what was going to happen, and so did others. It was going to come back one day with a vengeance, because one thing for sure, politicians are going to miss that money. Not only that, it was about the upkeep of the tunnels. At a time when we were paying tolls, we could not enjoy 2 weeks of traveling through the tunnels late at night without having to stop. But that's because the funding was there to keep the tunnels and clean and the grass cut. Now you see what's going on, when they took the tolls off. And I knew it was going to come back. And the same thing goes for infrastructure. Just like you said, where is the money coming from? Now, we're not raising taxes, and we don't ever see the benefit of it. There are taxes that are raised, and it just goes somewhere in the ocean. We're not talking about that. We're talking about infrastructure, things that will benefit the citizens directly. Right now, Channel 10 can put out a hurricane evacuation pathway, and everybody's going to gridlock at North Carolina. Nobody's going to get nowhere out of Deep Creek.
Yeah.
So it's all about infrastructure.
Yeah.
And just like you said, the guy is he's hurting his own self. I don't get it either.
I don't get it. I mean, maybe somebody can help me. I don't really get it. And look, I'm a conservative. I don't like tax increases, right? I rather.
Right.
I like his.
I don't like it either. No.
I like his plan to cut income taxes. But what I loved about the 2013 transportation tax compromise, and I know it was a $6 billion tax, biggest in history, is because 100% of the money we knew exactly where it was going. It was going to expand these arteries in Virginia that we can't get anywhere, right? I mean, I was going somewhere. I didn't even know where I was going Saturday, ball game or something. I'm going down 168 and coming back on a Saturday from the Outer Banks. I mean, it's backed up for 25 miles. I mean, why? Because it bottlenecks as soon as you go up and you get past the toll, you get to the toll and you get past the bottlenecks, right? So they got to fix those. They got to fix those interchanges there. I mean, I don't know, where does Gillespie think this money is, or any of these people think this money comes from? So look, I was proud of the Republicans finally fixing or attempting to fix some of the transportation in the state. It was only a down payment. It was only $6 billion, but you can see the benefits of it right now. You can see it with your own eyes. Because, look, I'm going to take a page out of Wagner's book. You want to fix the roads in Virginia, you got three choices. Don't do anything, tax, or toll. That's it. Gas tax, or some tax, or toll it. And the problem with the tolls is they go on in perpetuity. Now, the Easy Pass, Mike, is different because the Easy Pass is a choice. Like on that 95, when I'm getting out of D.C., I have the choice. Getting right out of D.C., I can pay the $15 on Easy Pass to get all the way to Fredericks without traffic, or I can not pay the $15 and sit in the traffic. That's my choice. If I feel like sitting there, I don't have anything to do, and I feel like spending an extra hour and I want to save the $15, I can go sit in it. The problem with tolls for like these tunnels is I can't get there without paying a toll. I want to get to Portsmouth. I